Hi everyone. We're Group 5, and today we'll be sharing our negotiation analysis of the negotiation that took place on Saturday. Johar, take us away.
Relying on our group analysis, I can say that we did well on generating and presenting options in different packages, whereby it allowed us to give the other party a sense of choice and control while ensuring that those options were in our favor. This allowed us to understand what is important to them. Secondly, we didn't fall to their demands, as the other side tried very hard to get us work more hours, but we stood firm in our preference for plan C and E. And also, we justified this on grounds of 20 to 30 hours being sufficient to produce a quality result. When it comes to what they did well, we can say that they protect their interests despite the tactics we used, such as presenting them with different alternatives. But they were able to see at the baseline that their interests would be compromised and protected themselves. So henceforward, my group and Isaac will continue.
So there are 3 points as to what we could have done differently. Firstly, in the planning phase, even though we had a general sensing of our preferences, we could have anticipated the counteroffers as well as decide beforehand how we would respond to them. Secondly, in the negotiation phase, we could have been less upfront about our preferences initially. It would have been more effective for each side to share their points of view and get a sense of each other's concerns first. For example, by agreeing quickly to their request to start as early as possible, we lost leverage for the rest of the negotiation on this point. So the third point is that we could have been clearer in our presentation of the different options towards the end. We did not fully utilize the platform, and we could have written our options down in the chat for them to refer to more easily, especially so because there were 5 different points of interest. Now I'll hand the time over to Pek Yoke, who will be taking us through what they did well, or what they could have done better, as well as other insights.
Our group thinks that on the whole, the opposing group had taken quite a positional approach from the start. So at the beginning of the negotiation, they had actually presented us with 2 combinations of options, which were generally quite adverse to our interests. And they did not explain why they had taken such a position. So it was difficult for us to understand what the underlying concern was and to get a sensing of where their priorities lay. So because we could not uncover the underlying interests, it made it more difficult to find a solution that met each party's needs in a complementary way. So this might have been done, for example, if we had been able to ascertain that one party felt more time pressure, but perhaps had more resources. If we were able to reach this point of understanding, this party could perhaps have accommodated the other party that was facing more scarcity of resources, but had a bit more time. The opposing party had also insisted on Project E without explaining why they had a preference for this. Now, because the candidate team did not have a preference for any of the projects, we thought that this would have been an opportunity for us to get some leverage or get a feeling of which one they would prefer. But because they insisted on Project E from the start, it was difficult to use this particular aspect in our negotiation to the full. Now, as to our insights overall on the negotiation, we felt that both teams could have afforded to listen to each other better and provided more explanations for their positions. The discussion as a result seemed very one-dimensional and positional rather than interest-based. Now, if we had provided these explanations and rationales, it would also have been better for justifying our positions, and doing this would have made them more palatable to the other side and more difficult to refuse in that sense. So we feel that overall, this negotiation has allowed us to see where our weak spots are when we participate in a negotiation and gives us food for thought for any negotiations that we attempt in the future.